Hello and welcome to Tree of Life Tarot. This is going to be general tarot reading for Friday, April 10th. So TGIF, at least that's how I feel. I hope you've had a wonderful week. So, starting off, we have the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck this is the Devil. It's called the Shadow Side in this deck. So I'll come to that in a minute. Let's take a look at our first two cards here. So the Ace of Pentacles is a solid new beginning. It's a tangible, fresh start in, the 3D world, not an idea. This is the actual manifestation of it in, embodied reality. This could be a job offer. It could be, some kind of, I am getting an offer here. And now we have the King of Cups present. Now this could represent a figure, a specific person who is, slightly older, someone who is emotionally mature, who is experienced and sort of, the King is the highest ranking of the court cards. So it means he's moved through the embodiment of all the other ones. So he is now, the culmination of that energy. So being the suit of cups, this is emotional maturity. This is kind of emotional intelligence, really. So this may be a person offering an opportunity to you, is the primary message that comes through here. Alternatively, only if this resonates, it could be that you're embodying the King of Cups and having realized that aspect of yourself is creating this new Ace of Pentacles moment. However, and I've said this before, if a King of Cups is coming in to help you, you are probably already beginning to at least embody the King of Cups. Like attracts like. So this might be someone recognizing that in you, which is why they want to come in and help. So either way, even if it's someone else coming in, it's also the work you've done. Whether you are fully settled or just beginning to come into that King of Cups energy, you are working with that energy as well. Now, bottom of the deck here, we do have the Shadow Side, which is the Devil card. So there could be anxiety coming up about this. There could be a certain consequence we'll see what comes out with the rest of the reading. But with a new beginning, there could be a change. There could be, we'll have to see in the clarifiers, because this isn't necessarily saying to be weary or wary of the new opportunity. This may just be your perception. If this is new territory, it could bring up fears in you. It could bring up, a fear of change. We do have underneath, oh my goodness. Just pulling the next couple cards that are under the deck, we have the Five of Wands. So there's that chaos energy that accompanies change. And we have the Nine of Swords, which is the, up all night worrying card. So let's see what else wants to come out. I'm being told to shuffle one more time, even though I've already shuffled these cards and meditated with them pretty extensively. I'm being told to mix it up one more time. So it's my job to listen, not to command. Okay. Let's get the story. All right. So Knight of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. So things, moving. Told to take these two. Well, speaking of things moving, Six of Swords, 10 of Wands. Okay. Definitely some change happening. Okay, these just came out in a clump. I don't want to take them, but I'm being told to take them. So this is normally, there's supposed to only be 5 cards in this spread, but these are coming out as, they're 4 cards, but they're going to be read as 1 card. So this is some interesting energy we've got going on here. And bottom of the deck, we still have the Shadow Side. We still have our Devil card present. Now, many of you, if you're already into tarot and on the spiritual journey, may be familiar with the concept of shadow work. This is sort of a concept from the analytic psychology of Carl Jung, which is the stuff that we kind of split off from our conscious self. Things we might be ashamed of, things that were not deemed socially acceptable, which we all go through this as we grow up. There are things that maybe our parents didn't approve of, or society told us not to do. And we kind of stuff those things in like a secret bag that we keep behind us, that we kind of keep hidden. It can be fears. But the other important thing about the shadow side is, as the teaching goes, it's also where you find the gold. The best parts of yourself often get pushed in there as well. So as you do the shadow work, it's sorting through those things, those parts of ourselves that we sort of kept hidden or split off from our conscious conception of ourselves, which is hard work, absolutely. But it's also the work of digging for gold, of excavating for the treasure. So this process, what this is saying to me, is definitely bringing up some real shadow work, which is hard work, but is good and rewarding work if you stick with it. So, so this is these first 4 cards here. This is all movement. Knight of Pentacles is slow moving earth energy. So this may be a new beginning that's been a long time coming, or that's taking kind of a long time to materialize and manifest. I mentioned the King of Cups could possibly be someone coming in to help and helping make this a reality. And that's very much what the 6 of Pentacles speaks to. This is my card of divine intervention, so take that as it resonates. But this is, you see this older figure here, this more senior figure, giving these pentacles to our, younger people here. So this is card of generosity, of kind of unexpected windfall, of help coming in the form that you need it most to help carry you forward. Here's our 6 of Swords, moving on to calmer waters, moving away from difficulties sort of into what's next. This is very much a transition card, which these other cards are showing as well. And then our 10 of Wands, almost there, but the exhaustion of all the work that's been done. So this shows a process. This shows there is absolutely help assisting in this process. Helping you get to the other side is very much what the 6 of Swords is saying here. Now this last leg of the journey, what is coming through with this 10 of Wands here is this last leg of the journey, you are going to have to do it alone. There are some things, people can help us to a certain point, and then we have to make the journey our own. It's like that last leg that we've been supported, we've been resourced, there are all this help coming along the way, and that last climb up to the castle, we've got to take everything we've collected on the journey and find our strength to get up there, which is how kind of we prove it to ourselves, and not just prove it to ourselves in an egoic way, but really integrate and come into union with that inner strength to get ourselves across the finish line. Because once that's done, once that journey is completed, we have the experience of having completed that journey and the confidence of it that no one can ever take away, that is then brought into whatever other challenges we face. So that's kind of what I'm getting with this. Now, our 4-in-1 here. Let's have a look. So 10 of Pentacles, the Sun, 4 of Wands, and the 8 of Swords. So one of these things is not like the other. 8 of Swords is that card of overthinking, analysis paralysis, getting ourselves stuck in a storm of overthought. But these other cards are all, you take this away, you've got wedding and celebration and happiness. 4 of Wands. 10 of Cups is the ultimate emotional fulfillment. These are both cards of marriage here. And then we have the Sun, which is ultimate happiness, the return of youthful energy. And this may be what is waiting at the end of the journey. whatever this journey is. Of course, we are always beginning new journeys, but whatever this sort of challenge or quest that you've been working on for a while. One thing I'm getting with the King of Cups here, this does not have to be a relationship, but it could be, is having emotionally matured. This King of Cups wants to bring, that emotional expression into actual 3D reality, which of course requires a relationship, which requires bringing other people into this. We're going to clarify, but this Eight of Swords could be doubting that it's possible, or perhaps that, it's already sort of there. We have the Castle in both of these cards. The castle is behind her and she can't see it because she's got the blindfold on and thinks she's in a cage, although she could quite easily free herself, which is always what's depicted in the Eight of Swords. And our Ten of Wands is making that last climb to the castle. So there's a sense of it really just being almost right there. This ultimate fulfillment and happiness and marriage, and this doesn't have to be with another person. This could be all within yourself, finding what is your true emotional fulfillment, coming into union, that alchemical marriage of the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine that we all have within us, bringing them together, perhaps integrating our shadow, which integrating the shadow doesn't just mean making peace with the dark. It means integrating parts of ourselves that, make us more whole, which is what this Four of Wands is talking about. And it's all right there. So this could all just be a journey within yourself, but this is all leading to a very good place. And the Eight of Wands, I don't want to say it's trivial, but Eight of Swords, I mean. I'm not. I'm being told to cut the deck, not to shuffle it. Okay. So don't let that Eight of Swords derail you. Okay. No, oh, that's not it. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. King of Pentacles, the World, Ten of Swords, Six of Wands. And for our last card. There it is. Interesting. Okay, bottom of the deck, Five of Cups. So this could be also speaking to what's causing this shadow side energy and this sort of Eight of Swords. Now we've got the Seven of Swords on the board, is the experience of past losses kind of dogging you, and that sort of, I talked about that secret bag being behind us of all the things we might be ashamed of, or the pain we don't want to re-experience, and the aspects of ourselves that might make us vulnerable to that pain. Well, that's somewhat akin to these spilled cups here. So there is definitely just a sense of having gone through hurt and loss in the past, and we all go through that, and it leaves marks, and it does affect how we relate and how we move forward. So, King of Pentacles. Right away I'm getting that the Knight of Pentacles is on his quest to become the King of Pentacles. This is his destination. To be stable, to be secure. Right now he's roaming. He's learning about himself. He's kind of, I don't know why the phrase sowing his wild oats just came into my mind, probably because of the stag, which is very much a sign of fertility. But he's discovering his manhood, and I only say manhood because they're two very strong masculine images here. Take the gender however you need to, switch it if you need to. We all have masculine energies within us, even if we identify as female or non-binary or whatever we are. That masculine energy still exists. And this King of Pentacles is the most materially secure. He wants for nothing. He's got all of his abundance around him. He's won that pentacle, and he has taken that pentacle and sort of multiplied it. Our knight here is kind of figuring out what to do with it. Our king knows what to do with it. So this is what he's on a quest to become. Now, Six of Pentacles, you know, this, as I say, this is my card of divine intervention, of kind of help coming in. And here we have the World, we have the closing of the cycle. We have the Green Man here, which is ultimate, I'll show you this card, ultimate abundance and fertility. There's a lot of Celtic imagery in this deck. And this is one of those symbols, the green man or the Green Knight. You just see how everything is just growing out of him and how he is connected to all other aspects of creation. So this is a cycle closing. This help coming in, whether it is from, you know, another person or from the divine or whatever, this resource that is entering your life is helping to close that cycle. And helping, what I'm hearing is helping to heal that cycle, because Ten of Swords here is a painful ending. So it's, you know, the same concept as the World. It's something closing so something else can begin. But we have our figure here with, you know, all of these swords in his back. This has been a painful experience. And now it's over. Fortunately, you know, it's always hard to see this card. It's also fortunate to see this card. And here we have our owl up in the tree, the owl representing wisdom. So as painful as this has been, there is wisdom in this difficult experience. And, you know, the Six of Swords sometimes reminds me of like crossing the river Styx in, you know, was it Greek mythology? That's how one went to the underworld at the end of one's life, was by crossing the river Styx. It was a sort of divider between one realm and another, between life and death. And there is a, you know, there's a real death here. And the Ten of Swords very much could be an ego death. You know, this swords is the mind, it's mentality. The ego is represented here. So this could be an ego death. But again, as I was saying, we're healing this cycle. An ego death is a good thing. It's a hard thing, but it leads to new life. And then we move from the Ten of Swords, and here we have Ten of Wands with the Six of Wands. So having had the ego death, as I was saying, there's that last leg of the journey that, you know, requires that last bit of strength. And that's sort of what comes after the ego death. Then there's, okay, how do we use energy constructively? Where does the strength come from if it's not from our ego? And the Ten of Wands is how we find it. And we have the Six of Wands here, which is the card of victory and success. So all of this, again, has been worth it. It's carrying to a good place. So this last leg of the journey that has to be undergone alone, you will be victorious. This is the reward for it, and it is worth it. Now, interesting last card here. Seven of Swords. These are very conflicting energies here. And our Seven of Swords, you know, this can be lying, cheating, stealing, scheming, manipulation. It's my least favorite card in the deck. In its more positive aspect, it could be a card of strategy or of doing things behind the scenes. I want to clarify this because I'm actually not immediately sure what the Seven of Swords wants to say. This could be behavior, because there's a sense with this Eight of Swords of all of this happiness being blocked or being inaccessible because we're stuck in Eight of Swords mentality. And Seven of Swords is, you know, the Seven of Swords leads to the Eight of Swords. This behavior of overly strategizing and kind of scheming to protect one's interests is what leads someone to be an Eight of Swords energy, that overthinking, creating a trap for yourself. And that could simply be what's blocking that happiness. Two of Pentacles. Whoops. Bottom of the deck is Hangman now. So new perspective, a pause or delay. Two of Pentacles, juggling and balancing out priorities. What I'm getting with this is sort of once this journey has been undergone, even when there's that last leg, that inner strength is found, once you go through the Ten of Swords, complete the Ten of Wands, you're no longer the same person. There's the you that you've been and now the you that you are, and they still sort of exist in terms of your outward reality, because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So once we've gone through a transformation, we may be different, but our world matches the older version. And so there's a period of sort of balancing out and allowing 3D reality to catch up with who we've become and what our energy is now. And so there's a bit of a new perspective. Oh, look at that. Lovers, right? Love, oh my goodness, it just keeps getting better. This is what's on the bottom of the deck. So let me complete the thought. This is where this new perspective is important. Once we've completed the Ten of Wands, a pause might be needed. I feel like that's been a theme this week. I think some other readings have said that. A pause might be needed to integrate the changes, to sort of become stabilized in the new self, to be able to, see things differently now, having integrated all of this. And a pause might be needed to gain that new perspective before being able to access this. Okay, that was pretty clear. And just to say, underneath the Hangman, we have the Lovers and we have the High Priestess. Both of these are cards of balance, of spiritual union. And this is the fruits of the journey. And this is what is needed, to overcome the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Swords. And to enter into this union again. Another card of marriage and union. Whether that's with yourself or with another person, that's highly individual. Anything else? 6, 7, 8 of Swords. 10 of Swords. All that's missing is the 9 of Swords. So this is definitely ego death. Breaking out of old patterns of believing and perceiving in order to access ultimate fulfillment. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.